Ladies and gentlemen, hey, we getting near the end of the season. We back at you with another week of Turf AL2 Turf Talk. It's gonna get more fun the closer we get. So of course, things getting down nitty gritty. Playoff seating, who you playing the first round, if you got the home game, away game, all that stuff, that'll come into play after next week's games for sure. Some things pretty solidified now, but everything will be done by then. But y'all know what we're here for this week. We're here to highlight some of these great players in the AL2, as well as talk about these teams that got these wins this week. So with that being said, we're going to start off NJ Roughnecks. So when I tell you this was a tight week for a lot of the games, I mean that. I'm going to give you a perfect example of what a tight week looks like. 8-7. Roughnecks got the win. But guess what? Winning is winning. So let's get these gentlemen on and let's talk about this game. Gavin, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Can't complain, can't complain. Shay, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on? Cool. Good to see you again, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because when y'all see me, that means you won. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
It's
facts,
never a bad thing.
facts.
Yeah. So, fellas, it's been a long season. We getting down to the end of it. We got what, one more week of the regular season, and then it's playoff time. It's time to see who gonna get that championship. A lot of
Yeah.
people saying that they're gonna get it, but you got to win the games to get it. So, fellas, how did it feel to get that win this week?
Go ahead, Gavin. You can answer first.
It like it didn't feel real. Like it was the very last couple of seconds that won it for us,
Mm-hmm.
and like that feeling after was like insane.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's like when you come down to those heart pumping moments, you feel me? Heart pumping seconds,
Yeah.
I should say, it gets intense. So I mean, having that last couple of plays and not knowing if you're gonna come out on top or not, that really can be some pressure for real.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, Gavin, linebacker, Shay, defensive lineman, right? Now y'all probably play other positions too, but those are your primary positions. So as you're watching this last offensive drive, knowing it's been a difficult day for the offense, and these things happen, it's been a difficult day for the offense. Did you feel comfortable that they were going to be able to pull through and throw a couple points on the board and get y'all a dub?
So I know our coach Wendell. He always puts us in good positions. Like he's somebody that you can trust. You feel me, Coach
Mm-hmm.
Bates? I'm sorry, but when it came down to it, it was you know what I mean. Get back on the field, first group up, and let's ball. Let's finish this. You feel me? That was always the mentality. Like we knew that our offense was struggling all game. Our quarterback was down, so it was left in our hands, and we had to finish it and make sure they didn't move the ball downfield.
I feel it. Gavin, what about you, sir?
Um, yeah, like Shay said, our offense was struggling a little bit, especially with the injury to our quarterback.
Yeah,
As he said, it really felt like it was in our hands to like make a play when like we really needed it, and that's just what we did.
Like I know we communicated. I know we did a couple blitzes on that last drive, and like I said, Coach Beach set it up. So
yeah.
that particular last play where Gavin, I mean, made that safety, it was like, yo, open the middle, Shay, and I'm like, all right, bet. I took my one side, told Gavin to go the other way, and that thing opened up because it drove a Mack truck through that bad boy. So it's all about game plan and strategy, man. Like, and we all work together. Like I looked at the other DNs and was like, yo, don't do nothing else but contain. You feel me? I'm gonna choose my A gap, and he going the other one, and we executed it.
That's good. That's good. So I'll ask the question this way then. Walk me through that touchdown play because when you needed the touchdown to get in position to be able to make that play at the end of the game. So as you're watching the offense get that one drive to get that touchdown, in the game, what did you see that was different from that drive from all the other drives that didn't end successfully?
I believe that touchdown drive was like first half. That's the last time we
that was the
scored.
first drive of the game.
Yeah, like that was the last time we scored. We never scored after that.
So you scored the first drive, and then no more scores until the safety. So what
It
was
was
different?
6-7 the whole time, and then it came down to that last play.
Yeah, I had that reversed in my mind. I convinced myself of something different. So in that first drive, you got the touchdown. How did it look different from the other drives? Was it just the defense not being prepared? Was that prior to the quarterback getting hurt? Like, what made that drive successful for the people versus the other drives?
Go ahead, Gavin.
It really looked like a lot of like mental errors throughout the rest of the game, but that drive in particular, everything seemed to click on the offensive side of the ball, and because after that, it just didn't like we didn't see the same consistency as it is. It's just the little things that was going wrong for us, not necessarily anything too big that we can't turn around. But yeah, it was just little mental mistakes throughout the rest of the game on the offensive side that was preventing us from scoring what we were used to scoring.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it's the low ceiling plays a factor always. The way the ceiling is in the facility, and then also we had a lot of fumbles with the snap. The ball when it gets hot outside, the humidity in the stadium can cause the ball to sweat itself. Not even just the player sweating, but we had some trouble with the snapping and stuff like that. So, like you said, the little things that occurred just kept us from really moving the ball downfield, hitting the ball on top of the roof and stuff like that. Like just little mistakes.
Okay, gotcha. So you get the early touchdown. You're in a good situation, at least at that time. Defense holds up spectacularly. Obviously, only giving up 7 points in the game.
We didn't even give that up. That was
return.
kick return. Yeah.
Dang.
So defense pitched the shutout for real.
Yeah,
but the kick return got they ran it back. That was the only time they scored.
Defense didn't give up any points. That was all on the kickoff return.
Yeah.
So score the first play of the game. Defense pitches a shutout. Still at the end of the game. Still down by a point. So you got 10, 13 seconds left. You got to get you got to get a safety, right? At this point, you got to get a safety because
that's all we can do. Yeah,
there's not time for anything else.
Right.
So all game you've been able to stop them. So you had their number clearly. We talked about kind of how you set it up, Gavin. When you go through that hole that's open and you see this quarterback and you're like, I got to get this dude. What goes through your head as you're on the way to make that safety?
It was the same way all game. Shay picks the side, I take the other side. He completely opens it up, like you said, for a Mack truck. I just wasn't able to get there at all throughout the game.
Yeah.
But this time we got a really good jump off the snap, me and Shay. And to seeing him like in the end zone, like I was surprised that they were gonna throw the ball. And he was there, and it just felt like it was too good to be true that he was just standing there.
Every time, how they talk about like sometimes like everything slows down and you feel like you're moving in slow motion.
Yeah,
was it one of those situations?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, you feel like.
Sure. Even on my side, like I said, we created that play to open his gap up, but I even made my way around to get almost to the quarterback, and it's like a split second, yo. Gavin took him from me. Like it was either gonna be me or him that was gonna make the play.
So both of y'all was like, we gonna get this dude.
Yeah. But in brotherhood wise, you feel me? I was just as happy for Gavin getting the play. Yeah. Like I was hyped. Like that's a big, huge play to come up. And you know what I'm saying? So I was proud of my brother, man, for doing that.
Okay. I like that. So for everyone that didn't watch the game, they scored first. Which I thought they scored later, but they scored first. I knew they scored first, but I thought it was later in the game. They scored first. As they told you, the defense pitched the shutout. The score came off a kick return, and then I'm assuming they kicked the field goal.
Yep.
So, for those of you who may not be aware, in AL2, you can choose to kick the field goal, you can choose to go for 2. The trick is if you go for 2, you don't make it, you only have 6. And obviously, field goal, if you make it, you get 7. If you go for 2 and you make it, you get 8. So obviously, you guys probably went for it when you scored, didn't get the 2 points. That y'all weren't the only team that didn't get the 2 points this week, but it is what it is. It's not like 100% play.
No,
so
not at all.
You get that score. The special teams gives it a touchdown. That brings you to just back and forth stalemate throughout the game. End of the game, offense really wasn't able to get it done. I mean, you lose your quarterback, and I hope he's all right as well. But you lose your quarterback, it's kind of hard. We talk a lot in AL2 about the next man up, and that's definitely the philosophy that you want to have. But at the same time, when you don't have your quarterback, like the leader, it's a lot simpler to replace like a wide receiver, running back, linebacker, D lineman, whoever's not your play caller on defense. It's easier to lose them than to lose your play caller. So losing the play caller does, it makes things more difficult. But you guys held strong, get to the end, you make the big play, you're able to get the win. So who is your offensive player of the game for you guys?
I give it to a mean bird. You feel me? On the play that he did score, I think my boy carried somebody on his back for about 10 yards. For real, like he was. I tried to get him on here. You feel me? For different reasons, he wasn't able to come on. But for the whole season, he's carried the team on his back when it comes to the rushing yards and stuff like that. You feel me? So shout out to him. That's one of our running backs. The other one is Kareem, and they both carry us, bro. So I give it to Mean Bird for player of the game for offense for sure.
All right. Gavin, what about you, sir?
Yeah, I'm also going to give it to Bird. I've never seen someone be able to run the ball with so many people on him. He just doesn't stop. But he definitely was one of the difference makers in this game that definitely gave us that score that we had in the early part of the game.
Yeah. And it's important in those tight games to have that running game that can eat up the clock, right? So you're not worrying about defense on the field, and your defense got to get right back on the field, be able to get those breaks, kind of relax, get a breather, get the game plan right. And, sometimes even not scoring, but helping with possessions is just as good when your defense is on point.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, who's the defensive player of the game for you guys?
I'm giving it to Gavin. He came up with the big play. Yeah, he came up with the big play. You feel me? No matter what happened throughout the game, I know me, Z's, a couple other people, we had some sacks, and we made some plays on the back end with PBUs and stuff like that. But when it come down to it, bro, Gavin made that play that mattered. You feel me? So I give it to him all day.
I get it. Gavin, who's your player of the game? Defensive player of the game?
Am I able to give it to the whole D line? Is that
if you want to,
something I can do? Every time I want to go to sack the quarterback, someone's already there on every blitz, every outside run, pitch, someone's already there. But aside from that, they just make every single play and they get there before me. It's just it makes my job a lot easier, and definitely it keeps offenses from moving in the right direction. But yeah, definitely the whole defensive line and that rotation.
Yeah, facts.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. So, moving on. We got another game next week. Let the people know who you guys are going to be playing next week.
So we have, from what I learned earlier, this week is, like you said, that extra week of the regular season. So we're off this week. We're going to practice, get things together, and hopefully, get the players that are bruised up, get them healed up. And then we face the Stampede on the 21st. So we're looking to come right back at them how we did the last time and dominate and get to that conference championship.
Okay. So y'all already know Stampede. Is that going to be Is y'all spot, or are you traveling to them?
They coming to us, baby. They gotta come to our home.
Yeah. I want to make sure all the people know what's going on. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
So I know you've played them already this season, like you said, trying to make sure you handle them um, in a way that you end up winning the game. How do you guys feel about your progression? So, we came on early this season, preseason, introduced a lot of the guys. We weren't able to do everybody, but all the guys we could. From then to now, before week 1 to now, how are you guys feeling about the team gelling? I know you guys, all the teams have had different situations, but I know you guys have had some tough things happening. But that aside, how do you feel about the team just gelling and how you're feeling about the team now and how you've seen the team progress?
Go ahead, Gavin.
Like they said earlier on this, like earlier in the season, it's definitely been a crazy season for us. We've had coaching changes, we've had player personnel changes, we've had everything that's just been different. But we have honestly stuck together as a team almost overall. We've come together, like practicing on our own, sometimes without the coaches. It's been like, but as much as the adversity we face, we've all come together, and yeah, we've made it work. We've added some personnel too over the past couple weeks, and we fit them right into our scheme and made them a part of this family. But I think overall, we've definitely made some steps in the right direction, and this is not the same team as it was week 1.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, we face so much adversity. Like he said, from coaching staff, front office staff to players. Like it's been a lot. You feel me? But
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, it comes down to that brotherhood and gelling together, like you said, for the end of the season. And then now we're looking to gel even more for the playoffs. It's like we need it. You don't win championships without that brotherhood. That's just something that doesn't happen. You feel me? Like you gotta play together. You gotta be a unit. So I mean, as much as me and Gavin can, we're gonna try to keep this joint together and keep the ball rolling. Like we want to get to that championship game. As a first year organization, that'll be a crucial standpoint if we make that statement. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the goal. That's what we want to get to.
Yeah, I definitely feel it. And I do want to give you guys some props as a team, as players, and as an organization. Like I said, a lot of things going on, but you guys have been able to focus, stay in it, and push those things aside, get on the field and make it, happen and put out a good product. So that says a lot about all the guys out there because y'all are the ones that, have been the constant throughout this season. So shout out to you guys and shout out to the team and everybody for, sticking together. That's not easy to do. A lot of times,
Yeah,
a lot of things happen. It's easy for people to kind of fall off one by one, but obviously a core of guys that are leaders that help stick things together, getting the right other players in, getting the right coaching personnel, and all those things help. But you don't have the players sticking together. Coaches come in, there's nobody to coach because nobody's listening anymore. So shout out to the Roughnecks, man. Y'all have done a good job this year with holding it down on that end. So for sure,
yeah.
y'all.
At this point, we got you got social media that plays a part too. So we faced a lot of that coming from our
Yeah.
peers and everybody's commentation on social media. So like I said, I'm proud of the guys for sticking together and sticking it through. We played half of the season with different jerseys on. You know what I mean? So we we stuck it out, man. I'm proud of everybody for real.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So Gavin, and then of course you, Shay. Any last thoughts? And definitely let the people know where they can find you.
Our Instagram is NJ Roughnecks, and do we have a Facebook page, Shay?
Yeah, it's the same thing
Yeah,
in New
pro-
Jersey Roughnecks.
um, Facebook is Bunt Gavin, and my Instagram is Gavin_Bunt23.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So y'all know y'all can find me on Facebook, Shayfon Davis. On Instagram, I am_Shay Davis. Yeah, holla at me, man. Besides the football stuff, like I said, I got a lot going on. I'm about to do a stage play in a couple weeks, so make sure y'all follow me, yo.
That's what's happening, man. Hey, good luck to you guys again. Glad you guys have been able to kind of weather the storm throughout the season. Good luck, and hopefully you guys will be back to talk about a playoff victory.
Most definitely appreciate you, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. All right, good people, we're back, and we got the Carolina Predators on for another week, which means, of course, another victory for the Predators. So this was a game that I was able to, you know, see in person. Interesting matchup. Wasn't a high scoring game, but both teams were able to, put some points on the board. 18-14 win for the Predators. What's going on, Coach Bird and Coach Wood? How you gentlemen doing today?
Pretty good.
That's
Tired,
good.
pretty good.
Long day.
Hey, a lot of the days are long. It is what it is, right?
Oh yeah.
So, coaches, big win. We look into the playoffs, trying to make some moves and different things. So, first thing I want to ask, how does it feel to get another win?
It feels good. It's feel good finally getting another win under our belt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all as they say, it always you always have a different attitude when you get that W opposing to getting that L's all the time. So yeah, so it was a good feel. It was a good feeling Saturday.
Oh yeah. Always feel great to get that W.
Yeah, yeah. So, obviously, this game was more about some of the we're gonna say poor calls by the refs. I think that's essentially a part of every, unfortunately, a lot of games. The biggest thing, of course, is you got to try to play through it. Sometimes you feel like you should get calls, you don't. Sometimes you feel like the other team might get calls that you don't feel should go their way, those different things. But I feel both teams held together the best they could in this situation. With refs didn't feel as if that particular crew was as knowledgeable in some of the rules. But y'all, everybody kind of moved past it, got the game finished. Talk about how that can talk about maybe overcoming a little frustration for you guys in that game.
I mean, I know. Well, when it comes to referees, I understand they are in a very uncomfortable situations at times as far as they everybody want to get a call,
Right.
and and you just sometimes you just gotta you try not to worry too much about it, and just I always tell the guys, just play the game. Don't let anything outside of your control distract you from the objective, and the objective is always about winning the game. Okay, and when you let anything get in your head, any distractions like that get in your head, whether it's referees, whether it's ball player, your opponents, coaches, whatever it may be, if you let that get in your head, it can affect your performance. And so we just try to get them to stay focused on the task at hand. Everything else will play out. Will play out itself. So like I said, with the referees, I'm trying not to say too much about it because I don't want to get fined because there's rules and everything. So I'm trying to keep it PC as much as possible.
What's
You
up?
know, with that. So still the game got to be played, and we just gotta just play through it. And I always tell them, don't let one call dictate the game. It's not, you just got to play your game.
Definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Anything you want to add, Coach Bird?
I mean, like I always tell the guys, keep it in the referee's hands. If we
Yeah.
play our ball like we know how to play, we won't have to worry about if the refs make a bad call because everybody knows it's gonna happen. Oh, no matter what, home, away, neutral site, you always gonna have a call or calls that you don't agree with.
Right.
But like I think it was in a meeting the other day, and I think AJ said it. The players, you the one gotta make tackles. You gotta catch the ball. You gotta score. If the players do all them things, it's whatever the rest do don't matter. So, but that's about it on the rest.
I got you. I got you. So good defensive game. I think a lot of defense playing really well. How do you feel like you guys executed what you wanted to offensively? Because obviously the defensive um, part of this game went pretty solid because the touchdown that they scored was off of a turnover. So the defense didn't give up the touchdown; it was off a turnover. So how do you guys kind of feel about, with that being aside, how the offense executed this game?
We still have a lot of work to do. Like I said, I'm missing. Ooh, I think I'm missing all three of my starting receivers due to injury.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a rotation of DBs and running backs going in at receiver. So it kind of made the play calling a little bit difficult. But made it work. Good thing we had our O line together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had a couple of my big backs there, so we were able to just run the ball a little bit, move the clock. So that really helped out. With defense giving that short field, didn't score like we should have. Had a lot of missed opportunities, but I say the Indians, they no matter when you play them, they always gonna give you that fight. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I can't take nothing from them. They made it difficult on us, but we have to do better executing moving forward, especially getting ready to head down this trip to Mississippi for this last regular season game and then getting ready for playoffs, probably back to Mississippi. So that's what we're working on this week is our execution on offense.
Your thoughts, Coach Wood?
Yeah, I concur with him. Like I said, we was, offense is still they still learning how to play together, and it's hard to do that when you don't have ball players. You've got guys that are out from injuries and anything else that happens. So it's kind of hard to try to really try to put things together at times. But the one thing I like about our offense is that they do not quit. They really try their hardest to make lemonade out of the lemons. So we so do we have a lot of room for improvement? Yes, we got a lot of improvement. We got to improve a lot before this playoff run. Uh, the one on the bright side, what I do like is uh, I uh, I am pleased with the way that we are moving the ball. We are moving the ball a little bit better than what we were. Look at it back from week one compared to that. So we just got, like I said, we just going to keep grinding and just keep working at it and get the offense clicking like we know they can be.
I definitely feel that. So one of the things I wanted to just kind of quickly highlight, we talk about this all the time. Sometimes you playing football, it gets a little chippy. I saw both teams do a good job of the coaches kind of saying, hey, that's not what we're here for. Refocus. Let's worry about the game. And it's kind of tricky when you're playing like a geographical rival, right? Somebody kind of, a couple hours away, you kind of close your rivals in a sense. But the way you guys, both teams kind of handled that, I felt was really professional and kind of helped the guys understand, like, all right, it's okay to be chippy on the field, but let's lead it on the field. Come on the side, let's be professional, let's learn, let's work, let's develop. What were you guys kind of mindset on kind of helping to keep those guys, focused on what was important?
Well, biggest thing we just remind them the reason why they are here, and it is about developing themselves as ball players, but also develop them as professionals, and reminding them that when you do have the opportunity to go up to the next level, that they will they you have to you have to act accordingly. And when you get if you get it's everybody has that, everybody get a little chippy here and there, but you got to learn when to turn that off, because if you don't, that can that can be that can be the signs for you to come back where they let you go. And
Right.
because they don't want that type of ball player, in their organization. So we just constantly try to remind them of that, how to conduct yourself as a professional.
All right. Anything you want to add to that, Coach Bird?
Coach, we pretty much said it all on that one. Like I said, we all know what our goal is, what we
Mm-hmm.
come to do. They know what they're trying to get done also. So we always keep that in the back of our minds. Football is football. You always gonna have that competitiveness that's
Right.
gonna bring out the chipness. So if you don't have it in football, to me, it's more like Potter puffed in. Um, so to see that fight, I mean, that's what as coaches and owners is what you want to see is that fight in the guys.
Right.
But to learn how to control that fight is the ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
And both teams did a great job of it. Which the Indians and like you might always say we're rivals because we're not playing against each other so much between the Peach State years and everything else. So it's always gonna be a dog fight. It's always gonna be smack talking. The the chipping is always gonna be there. But
Mm-hmm.
in the end, we can all get together after the game and still communicate, have a good time.
Yeah, and that was definitely a big thing. Just you guys being able to kind of bring it together, get together, and fellowship with each other at the end. Which, like I said, being there live was able to see that, and that's a good part, and that's something that I feel like is very important, and something that both teams did a good job of, just making sure that everyone was there for that. Nobody was sitting on the side. So ultimately, everybody kind of got out there and became a part of it. So love to see the camaraderie after the game. So getting back to the game for a second, who would you say was you guys' offensive player of the game?
Uh, I'm gonna have to give it to my hog mollies, all four of them.
Okay.
For Vontae, Devon, Bubble, and Tavares. They all did an excellent job this week. They paved the way for two passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
No sacks. No, one sack. We had one sack. Um, I think we had about 70 yards rushing and about 70 yards through the air also. I mean, so to see that, that was great to see. Even though we did have the first play of the game, the bad snap, but what more can you ask from a nose guard to
Right.
step in to fill in? I mean, he does a great job when he's asked to step in. I mean, so I wasn't upset with it, but I had to give it to the guys up front.
I dig it. I dig it. Coach Will, what about you?
I say the same. We wouldn't be able to we wouldn't be productive on offense if it wasn't for the offensive line. Protecting our quarterback, and also blocking for our running back. So yeah, I have to say the same thing.
All right. And Coach Will, I'll stick with you. Offensive. Who's your offensive player of the game?
Oh, you talk about offense or defense?
Offense.
Oh, offense. Oh, I would say the offensive line as well.
Oh,
I,
sorry.
yeah,
I meant
yeah,
to say defense. I'm
yeah,
tripping.
yeah, yeah.
Defense.
That was like that was a trick question.
Yeah, no. It's supposed to be defense. You're right. Who's your defensive player of the game? I'm tripping.
Yeah, but on the defensive side, eh, I gotta give it to the line, the D line. They when I say between RJ, Chris, Chris Barnett, and Stephon Brown, and we also had
Yep.
Austin
Sky.
and Keith Barnes and Tavares also helped on defense. I mean that front they really help us control the game. Okay, because they found ways to stop the run. There were times where I thought that they got through. There were times they did get through. I'm not going to say that they completely lights out. But there was some times the Indians they did catch us off guard a couple of times where I think it did lead to one of their touchdowns on their drive that they had. Uh, but other than that, the times we thought that they were going to be running right by us, and them guys they were just there. I mean, they was just the guys were just flying around, and so yeah, I gotta give it to the defensive line. Them guys they held it. They really controlled that line of scrimmage Saturday.
Coach Bird.
Yeah, I have to say the same. I had to give it for that whole front box, the D line, the linebackers,
Okay.
because they paved the way for Johnson to do what he do. Yeah, they caught like Coach Wood said, they caught him out of space a couple times. They hit us with a couple big gashes, but he made up for it. The D line made up for it. Can never overlook Jonathan because he always gonna make a play or two or three. Uh, he he don't shy from no contact.
Right.
So can't ask nothing. Can't ask more than that. So he had a couple big plays. I think he had two forced fumbles,
Hmm. Yeah.
one fumble recovery. So on special teams also, but that front six rotation was just the Indian. It caught him by surprise.
Yeah.
It caught him by surprise to see that front six. But like I said, it all came down to coaching, and they caught on. They caught us in a couple bad spots, and they took advantage of it. So but that stone wall of line and the linebacking core that we have right now is for that game. I would have to say the defensive MVPs.
I dig that. Definitely saw some of that too. Pivotal moment of the game, gentlemen. What was you guys' pivotal moment of the game?
Opening kickoff start the second half. Opening kickoff start the second half. We kick it. Got two good bounces. We recover.
You did. Yep.
3 plays later, Ricky hit the shine over the middle on the post for a touchdown. That put us up. So that was that time where the offense said, okay, well, we can do it. So they had that fight was still in them. So they knew that they can move the ball through the air. So it kind of relaxed everybody at that time. So to me, it's opening kickoff second half because Indians could have got the kickoff and score, and now we down by 8 or what 10. Either way, how they went.
Yeah.
But to get the ball back and score, go up, that was big. So
Yeah, I gotta say that one was kind of unexpected. I didn't expect that myself, so kind of unexpected. Coach Wood, what about you? Same one, different one.
Different one. I thought it was the drive when Mont came in at quarterback, and it started awful. I mean, we was pinned back. We
Right.
was pinned all the way back in the end zone, and he pitched the ball where where the running back was already gone, and I don't know how in the world we got that recovery, but we did.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, we ended up converting the first down. We started driving the ball, and it was a mix of both run and pass on where we got down there and scored. I thought that was a very pivotal moment that we had right there, just because we were able, because it could have been disastrous. I mean, it really could. The momentum could have went completely the other way if we didn't get that fumble recovery, but we did, and then we was able to make that drive and go down and score. So I thought that was very very good, just because we really haven't seen a drive like that offensively. We haven't seen many of those type of drives, where the offense just go down the field, so that was mine. That was my moment. I thought that we got something here.
Okay. So, guys, big win. You got the back-to-back or expected back-to-back games against Mississippi. So, any thoughts on the game with Mississippi? And also, please let the people know where they can find the team and where they can find you guys.
My thought on the game against Mississippi is my thought on every game. Like everybody said, we're looking to go 1-0. So the only thing I'm telling the guys, only one that beat us is us. No matter who we play. Only one that can beat us is us. So we're gonna make this trip down to Mississippi for Father's Day weekend. We're gonna look to spoil his homecoming on Father's Day weekend, and we're gonna make that 10-hour trip back to the house with that W and get prepared for 2 weeks to possibly making that trip back down Mississippi and doing the same thing. I mean, but we know we're gonna go down there, it's gonna be a dogfight.
Yeah.
Just because we know they're gonna want to put on for the home state. So, and to make that trip back to back, yeah, it's gonna be tough on us. But my guys ready for it. So, and you can find me same place, Facebook, Ralph D Bird, Instagram, Coach D Bird 2. You can find the team, Facebook, Carolina Predators Arena Football Team, Instagram, same name. You can go to our website, gocarolinapredators.com. You can go to our YouTube page, Carolina Predators, Instagram page, Carolina Predators. I think that's about it.
All right. Coach Wood.
He pretty much said it all. I mean, it's going to be these. It's going to be a business trip. I mean, we haven't played them since week one. So it's going to be, the question is going to come. I'm pretty sure they're asking the same question. How much we have improved, and I've been asking the question. How much have they improved since week one? And like Coach Bird said, that they're going to be in front of the home crowd, so they're going to it's going to be a different type of energy for them comparing to them coming when they made that trip coming to us. So that they'll be a little bit more energetic in this game. So we just got to get our guys prepared and make sure that they stay focused on the task. And you can find me on X, Coach S Dub.
All right. Well, good luck on the game this week, gentlemen. Hopefully you guys will get the dub and be back on here next week to talk about that game.
Sounds great. Hopefully we make it.
All right. Thank you so much for having us on.
Appreciate you.
Oh, no problem. No problem. All right, so we are in the building with Coach Ron from the Michigan Avengers with the 20-12 win. I know Coach Ron got a few things to say. So, Coach Ron, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? You all right?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain.
Same, man. Same. I really got no complaints. I ain't really got too much to say about this week.
So, what's going on,
You
Coach
asked
Ron?
me.
I normally ask questions, but this Coach Ron, I'm gonna just let you cook.
Man, there's so much I could say. There's so much I want to say, but your man's asked me to keep it football this week, so that's what I'm gonna do, man. I respect for y'all. I'm gonna keep it PG today.
Fair enough.
It's a lot I really want to get off on, man, but honestly, giving my energy to it probably wouldn't be the best thing either. You know,
That's good.
so
That's a
I'm
good
just gonna
decision.
leave it where it's at, man. We got the dub. Some things that kind of happened over the weekend that weren't planned, and it is what it is, man. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
So people gonna complain, people gonna cry, they gonna whine. That's just that. I mean, I never complained and cried when we got our ass whooped. So I'm just saying, but I'm not everybody else.
Well,
You lose games, man. It's football. Like teams
yeah.
win, teams lose. You gotta be understanding of that, man. You can't blame everybody because y'all lost, man. Oh, it's this, it's the refs, it's this, it's that.
Yeah.
Accountability is a thing, man, and I feel like that's one thing that's not really talked about.
Okay.
It's not discussed, being accountable as a coach or a team owner or a player even.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of excuses, and I hear them from certain people, but I'm gonna keep it at that. I told Matt earlier I was gonna get on here and talk crazy, but I ain't gonna do it too much. So
Okay.
he
So we
probably, he
getting
probably
a different
expected.
version of Coach Ron tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna get a more PG version of Coach Ron tonight. So we're gonna keep it football after this. This is strictly football.
Fair enough. So, pivotal moment in the game, Coach Ron. What was a moment in the game you felt like pivotal moment?
The interception by Omar.
Okay.
That changed the dynamic of the game a lot. Number
Mm-hmm.
10 with the kick took it back to the crib. That kind of dampened their spirits a little bit, and put the game
Yeah.
back in our favor.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, how
I'm,
your week going, man? I feel like we'll never ask you how you doing, man. We
it's
get on
going good,
here,
man.
you ask us questions and we respond. We don't never ask you how you doing, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm trying to make sure that I ask you the questions that won't set you off, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help Coach Ron be PG Coach Ron. So I'm trying to make sure I ask Coach Ron, the right questions. Because I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit, I've been known to be a little bit of high-headed times myself. So I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I lost my cool over the weekend. I definitely shouldn't have. I mean, given the circumstances and who I went off on, definitely wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely wish I could have took that crash out moment back, but it happened. It is
Yeah.
what it is. If it was something worth more going on for, I wish I had. I would. My bad.
Oh, you good.
Uh, but I didn't. So it is what it is. I take accountability for it. I messed up. That's on me.
Yeah. One of the things about what we do is it's football, right? You coaching
Yeah.
football, you get in that football mindset, you kind of get a little hype, you know, all the juices flowing, competitive juices, you ready to kind of, and then you just got to come down. Sometimes it just, it don't always roll the way you wanted to roll when you're trying to relax. So, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. So,
Yeah.
in talking about the game, what do you feel like would be some things that maybe you guys can improve on, heading into the end of the season in the playoffs?
Well, touch on what some of the guys were talking about earlier with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of one thing that's plagued us the last couple of weeks. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of teams are experiencing that now that we're ending the season, going
Right.
towards the end of the season. So that's one thing that's kind of been a thorn in our sides is injuries.
Right.
As far as that, just a little better communication on the offense and the defense. I feel like our communication was kind of off this week. Our head coach wasn't there this week, so I kind of had to step in and be the head coach, and I was kind of by myself. So it was a different dynamic than
Right.
normal without Coach Jeff being there. So he'll
Yeah.
be back on the 28th. He had some things
Okay.
he had to handle, so we had to go in there and kind of do it on our own. So I feel like that kind of changed the dynamic. One of our other starting running backs, he wasn't there. A couple of our linemen weren't there. And we
Yeah.
had a couple of injuries. Uh, we got guys that's trying to play through injuries, which
Yeah.
is kind of unfortunate because I know as much as you love the game, and I love the game the same way, man. I want to play through certain injuries, but it's like certain injuries you just can't play through.
Right.
You know, they kind of show with certain guys, and that's kind of what we need to work on. Getting guys back healthy, getting all of our guys there, getting
Right.
everybody at practice together, getting in sync better. We've had times where we've been in a great sync with one another as a team, and then there's been times where we kind of like, and it shows.
Right.
It definitely shows.
I say, man, I love for the people to see this side of you too, Coach Ron, because you tell it like it is, whatever. But I like for people to see that, there's a reason why you where you at when you're doing what you're doing. And it's because you understand it and you know how to turn it off when you need to and and go the other route. So I think that's great for people to see because, want to understand the full person that you are, right?
Yeah.
So who would you say would be your offensive player of the game for y'all from this past game? You got to think about that one for a few minutes.
I definitely got to think about that one. I got the defensive players for sure. It's the tie between them two. Um, our offense, probably the quarterback and our running back,
Okay.
DJ and John. One of my receivers, Ace, he definitely stepped up this week. He's been stepping up a lot recently.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as offense.
Okay. And defense. Who you got?
Man, defense got to go to Omar and Chris Thompson.
Okay.
Them two boys really they lit some shit up this week, man. They definitely got us out of a couple jams. Our overall defense front line, we did pretty okay. I mean, we could have did a lot better, but like I said, it was missing pieces and
Right.
stuff like that. So
Right. So do you guys have a game coming up this week? I know some teams have games, some teams have buys.
no, we got to buy it.
Okay.
Am I looking for somebody to scrimmage against? Yes. We are definitely looking for somebody to play against because I can't let these guys sit down and get no break like that, man. Not for no 2-3 weeks. Nah.
Okay.
Half of them end up in Mexico or Hawaii or something. We got a game this week? Man, what happened? You gotta stay on them, man.
Yeah.
Gotta stay on them.
Yeah.
Gotta make them feel like it's a game every week.
I definitely understand that. So if you're not able to get a scrimmage, I'm assuming you probably have a inter squad scrimmage or something going on this weekend. Keep them boys
practice. Yeah.
Something like that to keep them boys ready to go. So do you know where you're gonna be for the playoffs or who you playing and
You know who we play.
I gotta ask you though, so you can tell the people. You know what I'm saying? So then I can go to the next question.
Team that we just played this past weekend. We played the Pittsburgh Outlaws at home.
Okay.
And The field that I tell them that we're playing at is the field that we're playing at. No matter what they tell y'all.
Got you. So, how do you feel? Everybody gives the same answer, but I think it's a fair question to ask at least.
Okay.
How do you feel your chances are in this game? Not this weekend, but next weekend, the playoff game.
We don't play on the 20th. We play on the 28th.
Yeah, so not this weekend, but the next
Oh,
time you
right,
play.
because it's
Yeah.
okay. I'm tripping. It's Monday. I'm tripping.
No,
What
you
are
good. You good.
Yeah. Um, I feel like if we come out firing on all cylinders
Mm-hmm.
and we stay that way the entire game, I know our chances are 100% that we
Okay.
go and play whoever comes out of the East. And the same thing, if we stay on our grind and we keep going, we keep our foot on their neck, it's gonna be the same thing against whoever come out the East.
Okay.
So, yeah, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty damn good.
So a big thing that has been a theme throughout the show has been injuries, right? You kind of touched on it earlier.
Yes.
So yeah, so just to recap real quick, just injury wise, you feel like you guys have the depth and everything to sustain certain injuries. Have you feel like you've had guys that throughout the season you've been able to kind of develop and get to a point to where if you have some injuries in some places they can kind of step in
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and handle that.
No, let me not lie. It's a couple guys that, and we just got to be realistic and be honest. It's a couple of them that don't. I don't know what it is, man. They just, like, you can tell them 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You can go over it with them and try to walk them through it, and it's like they just don't understand. Or I don't want to say they don't understand football because that's not always the case. I don't think they understand arena and how arena is played. But that's one of the main things, man. Is understanding that this game is different from 11-man football,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a huge difference, but there is a pretty big difference. Um, and in certain positions, it's harder to adapt to your position than it is others. You know, so that's probably the biggest thing that certain guys on this team have had a problem with is adapting to their position in arena, not
Right.
just adapting to arena itself. As a lineman, as a D lineman especially, you know, even in 11-on-11 football, you only got 3 to 4 seconds to get
Right.
back there and make a play. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say 4 to 5 seconds. In arena, that is cut in half because we all know that any quarterback in this league can throw a 50-yard bomb
Right.
at any moment and connect on it. So, you know, the pocket is kind of open. A window is open a little bit more for them because the field ain't but 50 fucking yards. So the good quarterback, man, he just down there. And if he got receivers that's running like a 4-2 or 4-3, hey,
Yeah. I dig
that
it, man.
definitely cuts the window down a little bit more. You
Yeah.
know, the running game is a little different, easier to stop in arena, in my opinion.
I would say from what I've seen, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. So, how are you feeling on the development of the team from week one to now?
Huge, huge difference. Huge
Love it.
difference. Huge difference. The chemistry is a lot better. Uh, Guys are definitely developing for sure. They're here. They're here for that, and they're doing it. They're definitely developing. They're definitely getting better. Uh, and I love that for them. I love that for us as a team.
Yeah.
So
Right.
hella great job. Definitely getting better. I was a little concerned about the team going into the season, especially after the game that we had against the Ironman and the Grizzlies, but they have definitely proved me otherwise. This group of guys they're special. They're very talented, and as long as they can stick together, they will come out on top. You know, it's a different type of hunger in certain guys on this program. It's a different type of hunger. They want it. A lot of us want it on this program, like bad, like badder than we want to eat or breathe. Like we want it, and I tell them every game, as long as we don't play to lower teams' levels, which was one thing we've had a problem with, and that's something that we have to change. Like I noticed, like when we play against better teams, we don't have a problem with keeping up.
Mm-hmm.
That Iron Man game was a little different because it was everybody's first time playing together.
Right.
We were a brand new team at that point. A lot of guys were kind of they were all freshly new to arena. Like this was their first arena game. So to going into an environment like that with them, like with the flashing lights and the show and the dancers and the crowd and the all the theatrics that the Iron Man do, that scared a lot of them mentally. Like they were kind of starstruck. They were kind of in a moment because they'd never been in that kind of environment before. So for them, it was something different, and I understood that. That's why I wasn't ever like, oh man, this team is gonna be not good. Like we're gonna be trash. Or, I never had that thought. I just knew we were in for a long season. There was a lot of work to be done. So I knew that.
Right. Mm-hmm. A lot of just development and learning, and that's the thing about it. AL2 is that development place, so that's it's good to hear that for all the teams I've talked to, players, coaches, whoever, it's always been, hey, we've had a lot of improvement from the beginning of the season, and that's what it's about. Like you said, the beginning of the segment, you're gonna win sometimes, you're gonna lose sometimes. But it's the development. It's guys improving and guys getting to that point where you're like, okay, these are guys that look like they may be able to go to the next level, or they may be trending toward that if we can get them and work with them some more. So it's good that you have that, kind of happening on the team. And like I said, that development piece is kind of going across, the league. So glad that that's, been working out for everybody. And I do feel from what I've seen, there's been a lot of good football played in this league this year. And I hope that's going to continue. That's going to be something that's going to be moving, next year, year after that, year after that, year after that, moving forward. And it's going to get better every year. So, Coach Ron, any last thoughts from you? And of course, please let the people know where they can find you. And of course, good luck on your playoff game. And hopefully, you guys will be up the week after the playoff game to talk about that win.
All right. Well, y'all can find us at Michigan_Avengerz on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook at Michigan Avengerz. And I don't really got too much. Unless you got another question.
Well, I was gonna say anywhere they can find you, and any other thoughts on anything for this week or from the playoffs.
They can find me on those two pages.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep, they can find me on those two pages. It's my personal pages, so I don't really have like a personal page with my name or nothing like that. But
I got you.
yeah.
I got you.
How do I feel about this? I'm just excited to get into this playoff and see what. I know there's gonna be some wild shit going on in this playoffs. Since everybody has made the playoffs, it's gonna be some. It's definitely gonna be some upsets, and there are gonna be some games where we're like, yeah, we knew they was gonna win that game.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see the East I think those are going to be some great matchups in the East. I feel like so. I'm pretty excited to see who we fare against coming up the East.
Okay, okay.
A
Well,
little
Coach
shaky
Ron,
about the South, but
yeah, the South is going to be interesting. I'm gonna
yeah,
say this is
real
going to be
interesting
interesting.
because I feel like anybody could come out of the East
Right.
at this point. And in the West, I thought the Indians. I had the Indians at number one coming out of the South, but now I'm kind of looking at the Predators and I'm kind of like, no, man, them boys looking good. They done turned it around. They didn't start off so great earlier in the season. I had noticed,
Yeah.
but they done made some adjustments and turned it around. So it'd be pretty exciting to see how they fare in the playoffs.
You got to watch out for them Wolfpack in the South too. They might make some noise.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so might be a little
But you
something
know
going on.
they've been making noise all season though. They ain't been no slacker team all this season. They've been making pretty good noise. So
Agreed.
um, I just feel like the momentum is with the South Carolina. I feel like the momentum is with them right now.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So wouldn't be a surprise to see Mississippi come out of there. But
Yeah.
if right now, if I was a betting man, I'd probably put my money on South Carolina right
Okay. I'm with it. I'm with it. All right, so Coach Ron, we greatly appreciate your time, man. Again, good luck. Hopefully, y'all are able to find someone to scrimmage or at least get a good solid practice in and all that. And prepare yourselves for the playoffs. We'll be watching for sure. People, make sure that you are paying attention to the AEL too. Coming across this page, you've never seen it before. Make sure that you're checking out the teams. Make sure you're checking out the games. You can find the games on YouTube. You can find games on Shady Sports Network. You can find games on PDF Sports. So many great places that you can find the games on. You can watch the games and you can be part of it. If you're in a city or around a city that has a game, that has a team, support them. It's a better cost alternative. It's still a good time. You still get a good show. And I believe you enjoy it. I do. And, of course, all these gentlemen that are part of it do or they wouldn't be a part of it. So,
now.
another episode. Absolutely.
Yeah,
another
pull up on us,
episode.
man.
AL2. We in the books. We will be back, of course, to talk playoffs, all that good stuff. Make sure you're checking us out. If you haven't seen all the previous episodes, take a little time, go back and check those out as well. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. Let's help the buzz for the league grow. Let's help everybody's team and get them views up.
Views important.
Yes, sir. That's everything. And with that being said, man, we're going to be out for the week. We will see y'all back. Make sure you are staying tuned. And make sure you tap it.
How many times a week? Like three, four times, maybe.
I'm gonna pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.